My name is Brooke. For today's class, all you need is either some space on the floor, or if you have a yoga mat, exercise mat, go ahead and grab that. But that will be it for equipment today. Couple quick reminders. This month, we're having a program for CubeFit called CubeFit perFORM. So every class, we're going to be focused each week on something a little bit different. This week is all about mobility. So today is actually considered a master class for this specific mobility. So we'll be going through 5 movements together to really try and master those. And you'll find those same ones on your quote unquote study guide for CubeFit perFORM. So make sure to take a look at that. You can repeat this class to really master those if that's helpful. We also have Perfect Posture Program and our cooking demo happening this month. If you need any additional information on any of those programs, just let me know after class and I can send it your way. But we are going to go ahead and get started. So your first movement, if you're part of CubeFit perFORM, is cat-cow. If you've taken yoga before, or even some of our stretch breaks, this is a really great movement for mobilizing the spine and all areas of the spine as well. We're going to break this down first into a progressive cat and cow. So what that means, we're going to start with just focusing on the low back. Then we're going to move up to incorporate the middle section of our spine, and then we're going to incorporate the upper section or the cervical section of the spine. So we're going to move through this a little bit slow, but then we'll get that full cat and cow. To set up for cat and cow, you're going to start in a all fours or quadruped position with your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And just let the tops of your feet rest on the mat. If it's more comfortable for you, you can tuck your toes, but a little bit more passive would be having the feet relaxed. So before we get moving, something that you want to maintain during this shape is an external rotation of your arms. So what that means is your arm is going to rotate so that the inside of your arm faces forward. Your elbow is to point back. So we're going to keep the arm straight, but if you were to bend your elbow would go back. Versus when we're in this internal rotation, the elbows would go out to the side. So that's how you can tell. So find an external rotation, so the elbows would point back, and I want you to maintain that. The reason we focus on that is it sets our shoulders up in a much stronger position and protects them. So let's start to move through our progressive cat and cow. Starting from the low back, you're going to tip your hips forward, and then you're going to round your hips or tuck your hips under. So we'll just focus again on that lower portion, and then tuck under. Again, tip your hips forward, lift your tailbone, and then round. One more time. Good. Go ahead and pause just in that center between the two shapes. We're going to start to incorporate the middle section of the spine now. So tip your hips forward, but then continue to kind of let your belly, your chest sink heavy towards the ground. I want you to pinch your shoulder blades together. Your head stays relaxed, your neck is neutral. And then starting from that lower section of your spine, begin to tuck your hips under, and then start to round the rest of your back. So pull your shoulder blades apart, crunch your core. Inhale, drop your hips forward, then progressively move to pinch your shoulder blades together. Exhale, tuck your hips under, round your back, pull your shoulder blades apart. One more time. Inhale, come into that spinal extension, right, where we're creating that space along the front of the body, shoulder blades pull in. And then spinal flexion as we round and crunch through the front of the body, creating space through the back of the body. Go ahead and pause. We're going to move through that full variation now. So we'll incorporate the neck as well. So inhale, tip your hips forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then lift your head up, look up towards the ceiling. That's the final piece. Exhale, tuck your hips under, round your back, pull your shoulder blades apart, and then pull your chin towards your chest. Inhale to cow pose, lift up, look up. Exhale to cat pose. And we're going to go through 3 more times. Breathe in. Breathe out. Keep your arms externally rotated. Keep them straight. And continue to move. And one more on your own. And gently release. Our next movement is called World's Greatest Stretch. You may have seen this before. This is a wonderful stretch. So you can come right from tabletop, but go ahead and walk your hands a little bit more forward. And then from here, I want you to step your right foot to the outside edge of your mat or to the outside of your hands if you're not using a mat. You can inch your left leg back if it's more comfortable, so you can tuck your toe and then walk your leg back. I like to keep my back knee rested on the ground, but you can do the variation where you lift your leg. I find this one a little bit more relaxing and passive, but if it's more comfortable to lift the leg, go for it. So at first, I just want you to find a shape that feels like you can hold it. So adjust your legs as needed, whether that's walking your left leg back, walking your right foot forward, back, to the side, whatever feels the best in your hips. And then just go ahead and take a couple rocks side to side. Keep your right foot planted, but rock your hips a few times, right to left. That can feel really nice. And then pause back so that your wrists are pretty much beneath your shoulders. Your hands are shoulder width apart. So World's Greatest Stretch is going to incorporate a thoracic rotation. That's the middle portion of our spine. It's great for mobilizing the vertebra, but also the muscles that surround our spine. It helps to lengthen and then contract so that we are getting that rotation. So I want you to bend your elbow, drop your elbow towards your right foot, and then you're going to rotate open, reach your arm towards the ceiling. So that's our movement here. So you're going to bend your elbow, bring your elbow towards the arch of your foot, and then rotate open. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, rotate open. So I want you to move at your pace and your range of motion. So if you need to decrease or increase compared to what I'm showing, feel free to do so. As you rotate your arm open, you're going to think of stacking your shoulders, one over top of the other. And then as you come back down, that right shoulder might dip a little closer to the ground in comparison to that left one. Take one more on your own. Nice, and then you're just going to switch. So bring your right foot, your right leg back to meet the left, and then step your left foot forward. So it's on the outside of your hands. Maybe you inch your right leg back if that felt good on the first side. You might try that out here as well. And then again, keep your left foot planted, but rock your hips a couple times. And then we're going to move through 10 rotations on this side. So you know that pattern. You're going to bend your left elbow, drop it down, and then rotate open. Inhale as you lower. Exhale to open. Stay with your breath. We're going for 5 more. And if you reach 10 a little sooner than I do, no problem. You can pause, maybe step back to that tabletop. Go ahead and take both hands back to your mat. Take your right leg, your left leg back to meet your left. From here, we're going to start to move into some hamstring sweeps. So we're actually going to come up to stand. So you've got lots of ways to get there, but if you'd like to take a kind of yoga variation, feel free to follow me. So from your tabletop, you're going to tuck your toes. Start to push your hips back and walk your hands about a palm print forward. And then lift your knees, lift your hips, find downward facing dog. I like to pedal out the legs a couple times. That can feel nice. It can start to open up the hamstrings and the calves. And then your choice, either walk your hands to your feet or walk your feet to your hands. So you're going to come to a forward fold. Take your feet hip to shoulder width apart. Bend your knee side to side, rock it out. You can take hands to legs if that's more comfortable. And then eventually walk your hands up to your legs. Roll up to stand. And then we'll start to move through some hamstring sweeps. So there is a variation where you can do this on the ground, but we're going to do it standing today. I think this is a little bit more accessible. So your feet start hip width apart. You're going to extend your right leg out and bend your left knee. So your left leg is kind of your support leg in this case. Right leg extends, your toes point up towards you. That's really important to get that full extension in the back of the leg as you point your toes towards you. So hands start at your hips. We're going to move through this a little slow. Push your hips back just to start to feel the hamstring stretch out. Make sure you have a strong base. So you might need to walk your left foot out further just to feel like you have a strong center of gravity and good balance. From here, you're going to sweep your hands down your right leg, reach towards your toes. And then on your exhale, stand up, reach your arms up overhead and around. Inhale, reach your hands down. Exhale, up and around. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Good, and then you're going to switch. So we've got the same thing on the other side. Extend your left leg out long. Right leg is that support leg. So we want the knee bent. We want the foot completely gripping the ground. Hands at your hips. Flex your left heel. Pull your toes towards you and then push your hips back. Again, set that base. Walk your feet wider if need be. Next, inhale, sweep your hands down. Reach. And then exhale, roll up and around. Repeat. Go ahead and release. Step your feet in, shake out your legs. This next one, we're going to move to a wall. If you don't have a wall, you're going to do the same thing on the ground. And I'm actually going to walk you through both of those variations. But if you don't have a wall accessible right now, you can start on the ground, and we'll go through that twice together. But this is going to help to mobilize through our shoulders, our upper back, and our middle back. So you're going to walk your feet in as close as you can to the wall. But I want you to connect your low back, your mid back, and your head with the wall. So if one of those areas is not touching, you might need to walk your feet out a little bit further to give yourself some more space in order to connect the low back, mid back, and head with the wall. You also want to tuck your hips slightly under. So from the side, you're going to tuck your hips slightly under, and then that should make it more comfortable or easier to connect those points with the wall. From there, I want you to extend your arms up and over, palms face forward, and then draw your elbows in towards your rib cage. Now, as you do this, it's really common to then lose that and start to arch your back. So we don't want to. We want to maintain connection with those points on the wall. So if you need to walk your feet out a little bit, that's okay. But keep that connection with the wall as you draw your elbows in. Inhale to reset and reach your arms high. Exhale, draw your elbows in. Just 2 more. Keep that neutral spine. Keep some engagement through your core. That will help. Go ahead and release. Now we're going to move down to the ground. And essentially doing the same thing, but now your back is connected with the floor. I find this one almost easier. It's still challenging, but a little bit easier just because we have that weight kind of holding us a little bit closer to the ground. So on this one, your knees will be bent. Same thing, though, tuck your hips under so that you've got that connection with your back to the floor. Your head stays on the ground as well. Your neck stays neutral, arms overhead. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, keep your back cemented to the floor as you draw your elbows in. Now notice my hands are hovered above the floor. I'm not flexing my wrists to reach my fingertips to the ground. It is totally fine if your arms are not connected to the floor. I want you to keep a neutral wrist. Inhale, reach back. If you can, you're going to slide your arms connected with the floor, but it's okay if they lift a little bit. Inhale, reach back, feel that extension. And then exhale, squeeze just below your shoulder blades to pull your elbows in. 2 more times, breathe in, breathe out. Last time. On your exhale, squeeze just below the shoulder blades to draw your elbows in. And then release. Go ahead and rock your legs from side to side. So we have one more thoracic rotation. This one also utilizes the wall. You won't need as much space on the wall, but you could likely utilize maybe a couch, a chair, a sturdy chair, or even the side of your desk if you don't have access to a wall. If none of those props or situations are accessible to you right now, you can pretty much do this one without it as well. But let's go ahead and walk through it. On this one, I do find it more comfortable to roll up my mat a few times, or you could use maybe a towel or even a blanket to place beneath the knee, especially if you are in or on a hard surface. All right, so if you're going to use that, you're going to roll it up and place it right next to your wall. I'm going to have you place your right knee on that cushion. Your left foot steps forward, so you're in this lunge shape. So my right arm is going to extend forward, and it's going to glue to the wall. Right hip is connected to the wall. If you don't have that wall, you're going to make sure that your shoulder is over your hip, is over your knee. So I don't want something like this where we're making this shape, but I'm kind of leaning in one direction. We want everything stacked over top of the last joint. Okay, so now for the fun part. This one is one of my favorite thoracic rotations. So you're going to give yourself a high five. Both arms are forward. And then you're going to rotate open. Left arm goes back. And then you'll repeat. Come to center, give yourself that high five, and then rotate open. So you choose, you decide what that range of motion looks like. You can extend your arm back further, twist deeper if your body feels good doing that today. Try and keep your shoulders relaxed. A lot of times what can happen in this is as we come back, we kind of lift the shoulders, we scrunch the shoulders to get some more range or what feels like more range, but it's just causing tension in the shoulders. All right, let's go ahead and switch to the other side. So same thing now, your left knee is on the ground, your left hip is glued to or really close to the wall, and your shoulder is stacked over top. Rotate open from the right, from center. What's cool about this one is you can really take the time to notice any discrepancies, right versus left. So maybe one side feels a lot easier than the other. Or maybe it doesn't, maybe you feel about equal. But it's cool to notice that you might kind of trace it back to some movements you do throughout the day, or lack of movement throughout the day, or maybe how you're sitting at your desk. Go ahead and release. All right, so those are our 5 movements that you're going to see highlighted for this week for mobility. So hopefully that gives you a really helpful understanding of those. We do have a couple minutes left though, and I'm going to have us finish down on the ground in a 90-90 shape, just to work on the hips a little bit more. So we got shoulders, we got spine, and a little extra spine at the end there. So we're going to finish with a little extra hip mobility because we all need it. It's probably one of the most common areas alongside the spine, right, where we could really always be helped with a little bit more mobility. So 90-90 shape, your left leg is going to be, lower left leg is going to be parallel to the top edge of your mat if you're using one. If not, you're going to mimic this shape. Both of your hands are going to come and just kind of push down and then rock back on that front leg. Nothing crazy, just some gentle pressure. And then I want you to lean forward over top of that leg as much as it's comfortable. Now your back leg is going to start to move. So you're going to keep your knee glued to the ground. I'm going to have you lift your right lower leg for some internal rotation. You may start to feel your glute tense up a lot. If you need to take a break, that's okay. Last one. Okay, now place both of your hands behind you. You're going to rotate over to the right. And then we're going to set up for the same thing on this side. So again, kind of rock forward, rock back, prepping that right side. Should feel nice after that internal rotation. And then lean forward. Now lift lower left leg. The knees stay cemented, just that lower leg lifts. And you might find at first, maybe the leg doesn't go very far. Maybe it doesn't move at all, right? But you're just trying to build that mind to muscle connection. Go ahead and release. Now place your hands back behind you. Rotate back to the left. Now take it back over to the right. We're going to finish with just a few more of those windshield wipers. This is a great option for hip mobility. So if those lifts, if that internal rotation maybe didn't feel possible, just practice these. These can be helpful for moving through that range and getting more comfortable there, getting our hips more adapted. Go ahead and release. You can cross your legs, sit up tall. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms up. Exhale, let it go. That is it for today, friends. Thank you for joining me for this 20-minute mobility. Again, if you're participating in CubeFit perFORM, make sure to complete your quiz for this week. You can find that link over in the chat. If you have questions, please let me know, and I will see you all on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, Brooke. Thanks, Brooke.
Thank you.
Welcome. Have a good one.
Thank you, Brooke.